Well, gold and silver have come down in price quite a lot over the last couple of weeks. What does that mean? It's a buying opportunity, isn't it? We can all buy as much as we want now that prices have come down. Well, for me, I'm actually holding fire a little bit on some of my gold and silver acquisition. I do think that maybe, just maybe, prices might go down even further. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for another precious metal ramble. Now, gold and silver have gone down in price quite a lot over the last couple of weeks, and that happens every now and again. Gold and silver are a commodity. They go up, they go down, they go left, they go right. I've done many videos on that in the past. But this particular movement that I've seen over this last couple of weeks and months has certainly slowed down my own acquisition of gold and silver, and I want to tell you for why in this video. Now, I don't pretend to be a financial advisor or investment guru. I'm just a guy shooting the breeze about gold and silver as it relates to me and my own circumstances. So do bear that in mind and make your own decisions that are best for you, not just what your favorite YouTuber says. Now, with gold and silver prices dropping, you always see, it happens every time. When they go up, people are going, yes, now's the time for the moonshot, buy, 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 buy. When they go down, they go, it's discounted, buy, 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 buy. Funny that, because the vast majority of the people that do that have vested interests with affiliate bonus codes and all of that. But that's a topic for another time. The point here is that when it goes up, people buy. When it goes down, people buy. However, for me, I do see this downward trajectory extending further. Now, I'm not a market expert. I don't read the charts like gurus do and find out what might happen in the future. Nobody really does know. It could all change tomorrow. But from my perspective, I do feel like we've had pretty high prices for gold and silver, certainly here in the United Kingdom, for a fair old while. Inflation and interest rates have been playing a part in that with the devaluation of our currency. But I do think that we are now coming out of this. And it's sort of a similar thing to when COVID hit and the pandemic shut everything down. There was this huge monumental drop in silver price at the start. Then it gradually rose up and got to a really nice high for us here in the UK, and then it dropped down again when things started opening up and everyone thought, yeah, it's not actually quite as bad as we thought. Now, one of the other big changes between that time period and now is interest rates. Now, interest rates are something that are used to combat inflation, and I remember making videos 18 months ago when prices were starting to increase and it was getting on to that hot topic. Inflation is rising, currencies are devaluing. And I said right there and then, look, interest rates are going to go up at some point. That's the use of interest rates, to combat inflation. And it's going to happen. There is no avoiding it. Yet people just plainly didn't believe it. Some people still don't believe that it can be sustainable. Interest rates mean, of course, you pay more on the debt you have, and some of the biggest countries in the world have absurd amounts of debt. And that's very true. But with the interest rates being risen to combat the inflation that's happened, that debt is worth 10% less. So it's still a good thing. Now, the big thing for individuals is that because the interest rates have risen, it does make gold and silver seem a little less enticing compared with cash. Now, cash is, of course, not necessarily the best thing to have, but if you're a sensible investor, sensible stacker, you'll have a little piece of every pie. You'll have, well, what's the expression? You'll have a finger in every pie, I think it is, or something like that. You'll have a little bit of gold, you'll have a little bit of silver, you'll have some stocks and shares, you'll have some cash, you'll have some of those nice yielding 4% interest rate savings accounts if you can find them. There are a few that you can get right now for 4.4% for a 1-year fix, which are fantastic. You 4% per year guaranteed is nothing to be sniffed at, certainly when you compare with the 12% reduction in silver price in just the last month. And of course, gold has gone down just as much in this last time period as well. So the theory here is, of course, that gold and silver over a longer period of time do better. But when things are a bit tumultuous like this, it certainly does make sense in my brain perhaps to stop buying things that will devalue quickly over the next coming weeks and months because, as I said, there's a downward trajectory of gold and silver right now, and that's something that I do think will continue to happen. How low it will go, I don't really know, but I do think there is room for it still to go down further. I do think silver will probably not get much lower than, another 5, 6, 7%. Gold, I think, could stretch further down. So, yeah, there's definitely interesting times ahead for gold and silver, and where we'll eventually end up in that price point, I don't know. But from my perspective, having already acquired gold and silver over the course of a number of years at various different price points, for me, it doesn't make sense to continue buying at the sort of really high prices. I have a stack, I have an established stack already, and it's working for me. It's doing great things for that long period. Those bits I bought 4 or 5 years ago, very, very happy with the way that they've performed. Of course, I haven't actually earned anything from them until I sell them. But generally speaking, happy as I can be from what they've been bought for. They've done well. So I'm not looking to acquire more bullion weight gold and silver for my own personal stack right now. Of course, as a business, as somebody who uses silver as part of their daily routine in terms of production of pieces of poured silver, I still have to buy. And so we now move over to sort of the business hat side of things to talk about how and when I might look to buy another batch silver. I tend to buy relatively large batches in one go rather than spreading it out over time. And I do think for me right now, there's no sense, and this business hat is the same for a sensible stacker hat. There is no sense in, because silver's just dropped a little bit in price, going ahead and buying an awful lot more silver than perhaps is sensible and that I might need in the immediate or short-term future. Some people, when they see prices going down and they see all the hype and hysteria going, it's on discount, and oh look, the Fed has discounted silver again, all of these crazy crackpot conspiracy theories, it quite frankly is a little bit dangerous. There's this hype, this hysteria, and we've seen it. We've definitely experienced it before, and it will happen every time. And the sad fact of the matter is that there'll be a lot of promotion of the fact that gold and silver prices have gone down and various different bullion companies want to get in. It's the nature of the markets at the moment, unfortunately. From my perspective, I like to tell it in a different way. I don't have an affiliate bonus code sponsor for gold and silver where I'm just going to go and say I've bought this much silver and gold in the last couple of weeks because, hey look, the price is cheap, it's on discount, I'm going to stock up while I can. That's not who I am, and that's not what I really truly reflect for my silver and gold stacking journey. I want to be sustainable in this. I want to be able to have the things in other parts of my investing life where I can get better returns. There are a lot of really good things about gold and silver, but they're not perfect, and they should not form the entirety of a stack or sort of the entirety of an investment portfolio by any stretch of the imagination. You ask any qualified financial advisor whether or not you should go all in on anything, let alone gold and silver, and they'll probably laugh at you inside if they're polite, or laugh at you outside if they're not. There's a lot of people who think that gold and silver are the only way to invest and save money, and cash is just evil, but it's not necessarily that bad. Now look, I am still a skeptic when it comes to the long-term value of my currency, and that's why I have some gold and silver ready to go in case we needed it. But that's my take on the world at the moment. I do think we're coming out of this strange period we've been in with these high inflation rates, and it was a lot of people's thought that this was the start of the end of the dollar, of the pound, of the euro, of just the way of life. But I think you've just got to understand the reality of the world. It's not quite how all of the doom and gloom and naysayers say. There are certainly problems in the world, and there's certainly problems with money and finances in the world. But in terms of immediate impact on us, it is immaterial. If the pound and the dollar completely collapsed to zero, there'd be bigger problems than trying to buy loaves of bread with silver coins at the grocery store. It would really be not very good at all. So my messages here are, it's a weird time right now. It's one of those assets where it's great to have if you already have it, but getting more of it now has to be done in a responsible way. There is definitely merit to be said for buying as things go down rather than when they go up again. So I would say that if your whole strategy is still to keep accumulating gold and silver on a particular month, then that's absolutely fine. I'm not telling you to go and not buy gold and silver because prices are going down. If that fits in with your long-term goals and your long-term stacking strategies, then that is absolutely fine. And I know a lot of people are buying right now, but I personally am holding fire. I'm keeping some of that money aside for things that I know that I will want to buy maybe in a few months' time when gold and silver are a little bit lower. But look, there's a roller coaster happening and it could go back up at any time. You don't know what's going to happen and it is difficult to predict. So if anybody ever tells you they know exactly what they're talking about and exactly where gold and silver are going to go, they are either deluded or lying. That's pretty much, it's just, you can predict, you can get a good idea of where things are, but I could even be wrong here by saying things are going to continue to go down. I just don't know, and nor does anybody else, quite frankly. There are certainly indicators as to what might happen, but that's not guaranteed. So, in summary, holding fire a little bit, waiting for some more reductions in price, looking forward to when I can maybe buy some more again at a better price. Certainly that will be exciting for me, and I can share some of that on the channel when I get there. But otherwise, I think it's just time to relax and just observe what's happening out there. So there we have it. Now, I have, for those of you who are watching to the end, I have some interesting news. I'm going to the Royal Mint tomorrow. So, if you are watching to the end and you're my backyard bullion rambler and you haven't already commented on a community post I put out, let me know any questions you want me to ask the Royal Mint. I've got quite the itinerary of people to meet and talk to, and then I'm hoping, so I hinted a few weeks ago about really something very exciting. I am hoping that I can share something super extra cool and super extra exciting and super, super, super. It's so super. I just wish I could talk about it, but I can't until I have some more information. So hopefully very soon I'll be able to talk with you all about something that's very exciting. And I'm sorry, that's so vague, but that is the way it is. So if you're my backyard bullion ramblers, let me know any questions you've got for the Royal Mint. Otherwise, that is it from me. We'll see you on the next video, which is going to be a big one. It's going to be a fun one. It's not a Royal Mint trip or anything. It's going to be a huge coin that is very, very cool. And we'll see you there. Thanks all for watching. We'll see you on the next one. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.